Come on, 49 Faithful, let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yeah, yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er mind.
Ooh, yeah. Freak out. Yeah, I'm looking right into the video scope, And this is Macho Man, #1 Macho Man impersonator, past, present, future, yeah. And I'm here to tell you, you are watching 49er Minded with Bashar. Yeah, the cream of the crop. Dig it?
What is up, everybody in 49er land? How's everybody doing? Welcome to another edition of 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. Just let me say what's up to a couple of people in the chat really quick. We have 49ers Chanel. How's it going, dude? Always happy that you're here because you represent very well. I always see you on social media and you're always viewing the shows. I really appreciate it. Don Suave, man, good buddy of mine. What's up, dude? Says, yeah, stay 49er Minded, free cap. Yeah, this guy's always talking about Kaepernick. He kills me. And let me bring my guest on really quick. You guys may already know him. His name is Jay in the Bay. You know, I posted all the links to his social media in the video description. And without further ado, let's bring him on.
Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Thanks for having me on 49er Minded. Hopefully everyone is having a great Thursday night. And let's get into it, man.
Yeah, man. Great to have you, man. And if you don't mind, I have to do my little rendition.
Go ahead.
Faithful Niner Empire. You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. What's good? I still got to work on it. I don't have the mask either.
How's your night, man?
It's good. It's getting better and better. So, yeah, man. So what, man? We're playing the freaking Dallas Cowboys this week, man. What's going on in your mind?
Man, I'm looking forward to the matchup. There's no doubt the Dallas Cowboys have a prolific offense led by Dak Prescott. They got a good running game. They got a plethora of receivers, including the tight end. This should be a pretty good matchup. But I think the 49ers will have some advantages on Sunday. And, man, I think we can definitely win this game and go deeper into the playoffs.
Playoffs? You're talking about playoffs?
Exactly. Playoffs.
Yeah, these are the playoffs, baby. David McNew says, go 49ers, beat them cow patties, 100. Beat them cowgirls. That's what we got to do. And, you mentioned, the Cowboys obviously have a very prolific offense. And honestly, what worried about me about this 49er team, whether or not we made the playoffs, was if we were going to make the playoffs, were we even going to last in the playoffs? Because this team, throughout the season, especially, now defensively we're ranked pretty well, but our corners struggled like crazy all year long. Up until the end of the season, though. So the end of the season, just right when it mattered and right when we clinched, things are looking better as far as the cornerbacks go. So Josh Norman, of course, gave us nightmares. It wasn't fun seeing him out there. When Mosley went down, it just wasn't fun, and then you got, Dante Johnson and a whole bunch of other guys filling in. Now we got Ambry Thomas, who at first was struggling, but now you see him and, he's starting, he came close to making some plays in a few games here and there, but he wouldn't catch the ball and, he was a little out of position here and there, but who knows? Maybe now it's all coming together.
Yeah, I mean it's good to see Ambry Thomas out there. You know, he was our third round pick, I believe, in this year's draft. So definitely glad to see him out there. Expectations are really high for him, especially with all the corners that we have who are going to be up in free agency next year. Definitely good to see him. That's got to be a confidence builder to get an interception in overtime to send us to the playoffs. And as you mentioned, Josh Norman. Hey, I credit him for being the king peanut puncher. But if he wasn't forcing fumbles, he was getting, defensive pass interference penalties, or he was just getting burnt. So it's good to see Ambry Thomas back there, and also Emmanuel Mosley. I'm glad that he's healthy because these Cowboys got some good receivers, and they can definitely present some problems to our secondary. So we're going to need all hands on deck, and I'm glad Trent Williams practiced today too. So that's a huge plus.
Yeah, I was crossing my fingers about the whole Trent Williams thing. Like, wishful thinking was telling me, hey, oh, he'll be back. He'll be back. Fine, don't worry. But you never know until they actually step out on that practice field or until they're actually activated. So that's great to know that Trent Williams is going to be back because, hey, last time, we had Colton McKivitz in there who I didn't know was going to play in there until freaking the game was on. And then I kind of got worried. I was like, whoa, Colton McKivitz over Jalen Moore? What's going on here? But apparently they had, Kittle helping out McKivitz a good portion of the time. But now Kittle's going to be able to run free if Trent Williams is playing. We got a few people that just trickled in here. Let me say what's up to them. Well, David Manu says Mosley is 6th in the NFL completion percentage against him. He's underrated. You know what? When Mosley was playing, there were times where he did kind of irritate me. I'll be honest. Just on certain key third downs, I'd see his man beat him, but hopefully it looks like he's putting it all together, and hopefully he does for this playoff run. I'll gladly appreciate him doing well. And that's
Absolutely, we need him. I mean, I think he's our best corner. I think we definitely need him.
Yeah, and he did pretty well for us that Super Bowl season that we had. Young Creeper 9, whose real name is Roberto. I call him Roberto. Says, "What's up, Bashar? How you doing?" He's over in New Mexico. Good kid. He calls in on Rombo a lot. Joey Mahoney says, "What's up, my boy Jay in the Bay?" Jimmy looks to the left, looks to the right. What happened? What happens?
Jimmy G, he looks to the left, he looks to the right, and he throws a touchdown over the middle.
There you go, to Jennings, right? He threw it to Jennings over the middle.
Exactly. What's good, Joe? What's good, Joseph?
Prius Games is back with another episode, baby. He's actually going to the game. Prius game right here. Hey. And yeah, so who's your quarterback or Jimmy G? What do you guys say?
G. Now I got to be real. I got to be honest. I got to be transparent. I was really, really mad at Jimmy G after that Tennessee loss, and I might have said some things that, hey, man, it was in the heat of the moment, but I got to bring it back. Jimmy G, that's my quarterback. The resiliency he displayed and the whole team displayed last week. I don't know about the rest of the faithful, but my faith was definitely tested when we were down 17-0. That's for sure. But I had a glimmer of hope when we were able to get that field goal at the end of the first half. And hey, the rest is history. Jimmy G and his offense continued to excel. The defense brought more pressure on Stafford. He looked uncomfortable. He didn't look like the same quarterback compared to the first half. So, man, I think this team is battle tested. To beat a team 6 straight times, a division opponent. I mean, come on, man. We're ready for them Cowboys, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, Jimmy G, man, that's a roller coaster season for Jimmy G. I mean, he'll definitely have you dropping your F-bombs from time to time, but then lo and behold, when it's 2-minute drive time, all of a sudden, he's throwing darts and getting the team up to the end zone, and we're scoring touchdowns. So it's just kind of funny. Yeah, it's definitely it's never drama free with Jimmy G. That's for sure.
Yeah, you don't know which Jimmy G you're gonna get, and that is very frustrating.
He's the Forrest Gump of quarterbacks,
right? And let's be real, that's the reason why we drafted Trey Lance. And to answer Don's question,
right here,
no way in hell. There's no way Jimmy G is gonna be here this year. Now, if he wins the Super Bowl, I mean, but we gave up so much compensation for Trey. And Jimmy, let's be real, he's making $26 million. next year. That's too much money. We have other areas.
The only way he would ever stick around, it would be is if he took some major pay cut. But if we were to win the Super Bowl with him as the quarterback, he's not going to take a pay cut. No. And we have other holes that we need to fill. And it doesn't make any sense at all. So and I love what I see from Trey so far. So, it is what it is. What's up, Maruna? Maruna Pereira says, hi, all. He's a writer for All 49ers SI. I've had him on my show before. He just put out a new channel. The name of the channel I'll give to you, him and Ryan, who I've had on my show before as well. Nice. It's called Wrecked Borders Sports. It's on YouTube. So wrecked, like you wreck something. So wrecked in past tense, borders, and then sports. Definitely, Borders Sports. Yeah, okay. Wrecked Borders Sports. So him and Ryan are doing that. And hey,
I'm going to subscribe right now.
Okay, there you go.
I'm your 8th subscriber, man. I got you.
I subscribed as well.
All right.
So Dan Castillo, what's up, dude? How you doing? Repping up. There you go. You're more than welcome to do that all show, by the way. You have the green light because you do better than I do. Dan Castillo says, "What's good, Bash?" And Jay puts a fire. There you go. So let's see who else is here. If I missed anybody, I don't think I missed anybody. David McNew says Jimmy G won't be with us next season. I wish him luck wherever he goes. Steelers, Panthers. Yep. I don't know why, but I keep thinking he might go. Well, I was going to say Redskins, but the football team. But people were telling me no, he wouldn't go there.
Or the Giants or the Saints.
Yeah, who knows?
Can you imagine if Russell Wilson stays in Seattle, Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay? There's easily 4 to 6 teams who could want Jimmy G, and maybe we can get a 3rd or 4th round pick.
Now that you mention it, with Aaron Rodgers and with Russell Wilson, it's always like, oh yeah, they're gonna leave. They're not gonna be there anymore. Yeah. And Russell Wilson's not happy, and Aaron Rodgers is not happy. Boo hoo hoo hoo. It's always the same old song and dance every single year. Everybody keeps telling me, oh, this guy's gonna leave. And then lo and behold, they kiss and make up, and they throw all whatever team, whether it be the Seahawks or the Packers, they throw all this money at him, and they they stay. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit if both of those guys stay with their teams, Not saying it's out of the realm of possibility for them to leave, but again, it wouldn't surprise me if they stay. Washington. He said Washington, I heard, has picked a name. Okay. For their team. Yeah, it's pretty laughable that they never took them so damn long. And Dave McNew says the further we get in the playoffs, the higher the price for Jimmy G might get more than a warm beer for him. Okay, there you go.
I agree. Jimmy's playing for his starting quarterback future. The better he plays, a team will trade for him, and maybe he could be their starting quarterback for at least a year, or maybe they'll sign him to a contract extension. Who knows?
And going into the last game, there was a huge question mark, like, how is he going to be able to play if they're saying he has this injury and he needs surgery? It doesn't sound right, So now people are like, "Oh, was he really injured? Because he played the same way that he normally plays, that hot and cold that we've been seeing all year." So was he injured or was he?
I think he's really injured. Mm-hmm. What sense does it make it to Jimmy to fake an injury? Like he's trying to get another $100 million contract. Maybe a team will be willing to give that to him if he can lead us to a few wins in the playoffs. Because like I said, there's at least 4 to 6 teams that are going to want a new quarterback. Jimmy, when healthy, surrounded with talent, and when he doesn't throw the ball to the opposite team, he's not a bad quarterback. And there are plenty of teams who would want a quarterback like that in Jimmy G. So,
Yeah, there's worse quarterbacks out there. So, yeah. Yeah, it's never gonna. The drama's never gonna end with Jimmy G if he's our quarterback. it's what it is. David McNew says trade Jimmy G. Broncos could be a landing spot too. Saints have cap issues. Overpaid Taysom Hill. Yeah, I'm not sure what they paid him, but everybody keeps telling me they overpaid him. I never actually looked up his contract, but we are
16 mil or something
per season. Okay, yeah,
I think so.
Quarterbacks always get paid ridiculous amounts of money, so kind of doesn't surprise me. We are facing a quarterback who's making a whole lot of money on Sunday, as Dak Prescott, who threw for 4,000. I'm looking at stats right now: 4,409 yards and 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That's an excellent ratio, touchdown interception ratio. Do we stop him? So he's having a pretty good statistical season.
He is.
So he was 11-5 as a starter this year, and he's played almost every game but one. And obviously, go ahead.
Yeah, he's having an excellent season. And if you look at a lot of the offensive categories, the Cowboys are top 5 in like total yards, points scored, passing yards. I think they're top 10 in rushing yards. So they have a pretty well balanced offensive attack, and they're going to be a handful. But I would say this: if you look at their schedule, obviously they play in one of, I guess you could say, one of the worst divisions. I know the Eagles are in the playoffs, but other than that, Washington and was it the Giants? They're not good. And the Seahawks, granted, they didn't make the playoffs, but they beat us twice, and also the Cardinals and Rams. So it's obviously we're in a tougher division, and I think we face tougher competition. But I don't think they faced a Niners defense or a complete Niners team with an excellent head coach like Kyle Shanahan yet. So I think that will be an advantage that we have over the Cowboys.
And I think this Niners, you could talk about the finesse and all the glory and all the stats that certain teams have, like the Cowboys. But when it comes to just being a rough and tough football team and, being gritty when it matters, the Niners are one of the best teams in the league when it comes to doing that.
Absolutely.
I didn't click on the video. I didn't read the article about it, but I saw the headline today. And I'm not sure if I 100% agree with them because I just keep thinking, really, the Niners? Maybe another team out there should be better in this category. But Ray Lewis, for all it's worth, the Hall of Fame linebacker, he said that the 49ers had the best defense in the NFL at this moment. So I don't know if they really do, but I mean, I'll tell you this: we have one of the toughest defenses. For us to put up those kind of defensive numbers, we're third in yards given up. We gave the third least yards all year long. We're about 10th in points. So you could kind of throw us like middle of the pack, not middle of the pack, but like the number 5th best defense in the league statistically, maybe something like that if you combine all those stats together. And this is one tough team, so you can talk, again, we can talk about Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and Ezekiel Elliott and all these like flashy guys, but once they get hit in the mouth, just like Mike Tyson said, they can go down. So I got a very special guest in the chat. I was surprised to see him on here, actually. Says go Seahawks. My first cousin Francis. Shout out to you. Say what's up to the family. I got relatives from Seattle, so it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. So.
No,
and then
I was
what's
looking
up?
at the NFL the playoffs. The games in the playoffs, and I was just thinking, okay, are the 49ers the best defense? I mean, I think the Patriots defense is pretty good. The Buccaneers defense, at least their front four, is pretty good.
Their pass rush was insane last year in the playoffs. Yeah, amazing pass rush.
Steelers defense, they got T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt, you can't. Oh man.
And then you got the Cardinals and Rams. So I would say I think the Niners have a top 5 defense. I mean, we're definitely playing much better than we did at the beginning of the year, especially in run defense. Especially
the run defense. The D line going into the season, especially in the preseason, the D tackles and the D line in general was heralded pretty high, and I had these great expectations for our D line, especially and they got off to an extremely bad and slow start, and I was so disappointed. I was like, I love watching D line in general, and sure, Bosa's a beast. Bosa's been a beast consistently all year.
Yeah.
Definitely no knock on him, but I was waiting for the other guys, all this talent that we piled up in that position group, and now I think from about the second half season onwards, that position group is really really showing out, And then when you throw in freaking Arden Key, who we picked up from the Raiders, who was a great outside pass rusher in college, didn't really do much for the Raiders, and we started mixing him on the inside pass rush and a little bit on the outside. And ever since we started doing that with Chris Koharic's tutelage, he stepped up big. And now the D-line just looks ready, man. They just look straight up ready. And again, when I mentioned Dak Prescott, if we got our pass rush going the way it's been the past few weeks, we have a very good opportunity to beat these guys.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I like Prius Games' comment. He says the hottest defense, but not the best. I could agree with that. We do have one of the hotter defenses, and the Cowboys, they do lead the league in takeaways. And they also have a corner who I think he has 11 interceptions.
Diggs.
Yeah, so they do pretty well on defense.
Their defense is filled with playmakers, and they as much as remember how we were talking about how Jimmy G's hot and cold. They have a hot and cold defense. They're a defense that gives up all kinds of crazy yards. They don't stop the run well. They give up a lot of passing yards, Now that who's that one guy that they have, Micah Parsons?
Yeah.
He definitely gets. He's a great pass rusher. He gets the quarterback. But in reality, that defense does give up a lot of yards. But at the same time, they force a lot of turnovers.
Right.
You mentioned Diggs. They force fumbles. They force interceptions. And my cousin Francis said, even though he's a Seahawks fan, he says, "Don't worry, I still got the Niners over everyone." Yeah, he kind of has that Niner influence for me and my brother. Me and my brother were always talking to him about the 49ers, and him and his brothers, they talk about the Seahawks. We'd have fun with it.
And I was going to mention also the Cowboys, they lead the league in most penalties. So sometimes they can be undisciplined. And, hey, that could come into play on Sunday.
Sunday. Joey Mahoney says, Bash, I'm going to keep saying it, but it's not how you start, but it's how you finish and how it comes to who I think he meant to say who comes into the playoffs the hottest. Yeah, so previous game said we're the hottest defense. That's all that matters. You don't have to be the best throughout the whole regular season, but when you're the hottest, when it's playoff time, baby, that's when it definitely matters. And hopefully that streak keeps continuing against Dallas and possibly onward. We'll see about that.
Yeah,
David McNew says, again about the defense, he says, we have the 4th-ranked defense in the NFL. The Cow Patties are 6-0 versus the NFC least. 6-5 versus everybody else. Only beat 2 playoff teams, Patriots and Eagles. Yeah, the Cowboys, they kind of have that soft – I think they kind of have that soft side to them. They're more of like a finesse team, and we're that gritty, tough team. So what's up, Celts Chronicles? He's a YouTuber. Check him out. He says yee or yeah. And definitely check him out. He's a big 49er fan. Check out his channel.
What's good, Kel?
He's a new 49er fan on YouTube.
Also,
what's up?
Good to the platform with Lawrence Jackson as well.
Okay. Where's he at? Is he in the chat?
Yeah, he's in the chat. He's up and coming 49er YouTuber as well. So
okay, there he is. I see him right there. Yeah. The platform with Lawrence Jackson says, "What's happening, gentlemen? How's it going?" I've talked to him a few times on the Twitter Spaces. Good guy. I think he's in Arizona. He might. I forgot what state he's in. He's in some random state. It's definitely not California. Yeah. Oh, what's up, David Yang? We got David Yang. Haven't seen this guy in a while. Says Dallas hasn't beaten anyone really noteworthy. They've beaten up on their own division. Yeah, pretty much. So we'll see. James says Mike McCarthy will hand this game to us on a plate. Thank you very much. I've never been a Mike McCarthy guy. Maybe because I'm a little bitter because when he was with the 49ers, he was our offensive coordinator. I'm not sure if you remember this. It was the year we drafted Alex Smith. It was Alex Smith's rookie year. And Alex Smith only threw 1 touchdown his rookie year. He was horrible his rookie season. Yeah, terrible. He got off to a really, really slow start. And Mike McCarthy was our offensive coordinator that season. And I remember literally he was just our OC for 1 year under Mike Nolan. And then he bounced and went to Green Bay. He leaves to go to Green Bay, and then Brett Favre's there, and then lo and behold, Aaron Rodgers is sitting on the bench for a few years, and then Aaron Rodgers takes over and wins the Super Bowl. And if you rewind, when McCarthy was with the Niners, he told Nolan not to draft Aaron Rodgers because when Aaron Rodgers walked into the facility at Santa Clara, he came in with a cocky attitude, and he was wearing sunglasses and.
Wow.
McCarthy, I don't know if you knew that story, but McCarthy didn't like Aaron Rodgers and he told Nolan not to draft him.
Wow.
I don't like Aaron Rodgers' personality though. I'll be honest though. I think he's annoying and irritating, but he's an amazing player. Yeah. You can be the biggest a-hole all you want, and if you play like that, that's how I look at it. Yeah. So we got David Yang again. Says a lot of analysts are talking about Cedric Wilson, the slot wide receiver for Dallas. They have forgot that we have the EST slot, the best slot corner in the NFL.
Yeah, K1
Williams, who didn't play. I'm not sure how many games he missed as of late, but I know we had Dante Johnson in this place now. When Dante Johnson's playing corner, playing nickel, I kind of cringe. The last game, actually, they threw Dante Johnson in at safety towards, I think towards the second half of the game. And they tend to do a lot better at safety, I think, so. Now that we got K1, we don't have to worry about that so much.
Hey, exactly. Yeah, he missed, I think, because he was on the COVID list, I believe. So
that's what it was. It was going into the Rams game.
Yep.
Like they had this huge, gigantic list of all these 49er defensive backs.
Yeah, that were on the corner except Josh Norman.
Yeah, it was like everybody in the second, and Jimmy Ward too, our safety. So,
yep.
So that was pretty irritating to see that. all these players that we have, freaking in the secondary that were on the COVID list. So now it looks like this week going into the game, we don't have to deal with any of that. And Prius Game says, Jay in the Bay, do you miss Candlestick?
Absolutely.
Can you talk about your Candlestick experiences? I never knew if you went to any games out there.
Yeah, I went to the last game I think I went to. We played Washington when they were still called, the Redskins. That was the last time I went to. I don't even remember what year that was in. That seems so long ago. But that was the last game I went to. And yeah, I think we never should have left. Obviously San Francisco, and for those that don't know, Santa Clara and San Francisco, it's not like just down the street. It's like 45 minutes from those two cities. And obviously, if you're living further up north, like for me to get to the stadium, it takes obviously like at least an hour and maybe 15 without traffic. So man, I wish we never would have left the city, man. I wish we never would have left.
I left my heart in San Francisco. Old song. I don't know if you guys even know that one. Celts Chronicle says, which Jimmy will we see on Sunday? Sometimes you can overcome mistakes. The playoffs are a different story. All I'm saying is I want to see a heavy dose of Elijah Mitchell and whoever else that's helping him out in the backfield. If it's going to be Jeff Wilson Jr., freaking JaMychal Hasty. I don't know if Sermon's ever going to get the rock. I'd love to see him get some touches. But hey, Debo on that outside sweep, it's almost to the point where it starts to remind me of Raheem Mostert when he gets that second gear going, because there's times when Debo turns that corner and he's just gone. And he had 8 rushing touchdowns for the season. That's pretty remarkable for somebody who barely touches the rock out of the backfield. Joey Mahoney says, what's the status of rookie quarterback Diamador Lenore? I thought they said they activated him recently. Did you see that as well?
He's activated, but honestly, I don't think he'll get many defensive snaps. I think Ambry's going to start. Mosley's going to start on the other side. Kwan in the slot. And then that fourth corner, I guess it'll either be Lenore or Dante Johnson. So I don't, just like with him and Trey Sermon, I don't think Trey Sermon's going to get any burn. I don't see it. I mean, Jeff Wilson Jr., he's been healthy. He don't get no burn at the running back position when Mitchell's in there. So I don't know why Shanahan doesn't want to use.
Let me take a wild guess. Have you been watching Jesse Naylor from Last Second Sports a lot?
I haven't. No.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay, that's funny. I don't know why, because he always says he's not getting burned. He always uses that whole burn.
Okay.
He says that burn stuff a lot. Oh, okay. I thought maybe you got that from. Okay, so I guess it's a thing now. I guess people say, I'm not used to saying it myself, so I don't really have it in my repertoire. I'm kind of behind the times. So Don Swab, he loves asking this question. He's got this whole Kaepernick fixation.
Kaepernick.
Yeah, he says, Jay, what did you think of Cap?
Man, I appreciate Cap. And I appreciate his stance. I appreciate, what he did on the field for the 49ers. I appreciate what he's currently doing, for off the field. I appreciate him that much more. But man, I mean, we know he got blackballed from the league. We know that. But he had his good years with the 49ers. Obviously, when Harbaugh left and everyone else left, Pat Willis, everyone else on the team left, Frank Gore left. He didn't have much of a team behind him anymore. Now, also he had, I think his last season, I think it was Chip Kelly. And I think, it
was Chip Kelly.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate what happened to Cap. But I think honestly, he'll be remembered more for the work he's doing off the field, standing up for, people who don't have a voice. I am in awe, mad respect for Kaepernick and what he's done. And because I think his purpose is greater than football.
Got it. What's up, Corey Davis? Says hello, 49er minded and Jay in the Bay. Great, really, really cool dude, man. Big supporter of the channel. KD? Livy's World, I always see her on your chat. She says, what's good?
What's good?
And there's a little battle in the chat. I'm not sure if you noticed it right now. I had Dion last night. Not sure if you saw Dion's message to me about how funny and interactive the chat was, and I was like, man, I said, man, these guys do not disappoint. They bring it every night. They bring it to the table. If I do come on, I don't come on every night, but every time I do come on, that is. And for example, we got this guy David McNew saying number 5 is better than number 10. Trade Jimmy G. We got they go back and forth with it, and then we got Priya's game saying number 10 is better than number 5. You know,
Hey, I
so it's
mean,
just,
I'm rooting for anyone who's under center and whoever's wearing that red and gold. I mean, Jimmy, I got to give him his respect from last week. That was a resilient performance with the bad thumb, and hey, how can you not respect him after that type of performance? He could have easily said, "Oh, my thumb hurts," after we were down 17-0. I can't play or whatever, but he continued to fight, and what I just got to give him his props, man. I got to give him his flowers. That was an amazing performance in the second half, and we're going to need that type of performance against Dallas.
His throws in overtime and fourth quarter were really nice, and they were probably the best Jimmy G throws I saw all year. So whether he continues it or keeps it up is a different story. We'll see.
For whatever reason, he can't be even kill. It's always a seesaw. Either he's really good or he's really terrible. I don't know why he just can't play better, more consistent.
And it's not always because he's under pressure either, because there were times during the season where, like, case in point, like that throw to use check against the Titans that people keep talking about. Main reason I'm bringing that up is, sure he had a bad throw, but at the same time, he had time to throw. He said he had a clean pocket, for more than 3 seconds, and the throw's off. So I don't know what's going through his head. Somebody was telling me this, that like how Jimmy G for whatever reason will mess up, but then when it comes to these 2-minute offense tempo type situations, he steps up and does a lot better. And it's almost like something where maybe Jimmy G just performs when he doesn't have to think about things so much. Maybe when he's thinking about things, so maybe when he's in a zone where he doesn't think as much in those tempo situations, maybe that's where he excels. I don't know. Hard to figure the guy out. I'm sure defensive coordinators probably have a hard time figuring him out too, because they just don't know what they're getting with him. And Don Suave has. Go ahead.
And sometimes he just doesn't see a defender. Like, there have been plenty of interceptions where like, Jimmy, you didn't see the linebacker 2 feet from the receiver. Like, he does that sometimes too, but that's just Jimmy. Or
just multiple times where, for example, he'll throw it to a little check down, and you'll see like freaking Brandon Ayuk or Debo hella open on the down the right sideline, but never gets the ball thrown to him. I saw that so many times this year. Don Suave is a really nice 49er question, not necessarily about the game, but just general 49er question that I like. He says he always calls me BZ. He never calls me by my name, by the way. And whenever I'm out with him or his friends, somebody's never met me before. He's like, "Hey, this is BZ. This is BZ." He always calls me BZ. He's got away with words. He says, "BZ, who do you like better, Garrison Hurst, Ricky Waters, or Gore?" Man, you really hit me with the hardest question, man. Ooh. So first of all, my very first 49er jersey, even though I don't have it anymore, was Garrison Hurst. I was a big Garrison Hurst fan. Him out of college, he was amazing out of Georgia. Then I remember he went to the freaking they weren't even the Arizona Cardinals back then. They were called the Phoenix Cardinals, I believe. No, yeah, they were the Phoenix Cardinals at the time, and then later they became the Arizona Cardinals. And we were lucky enough to get him via free agency. And love Garrison Hurst. He definitely had his injury issues with us, which kind of sucked. I think he missed like a whole 2 years of football with us. But he bounced back like a lion. He has that famous run that everybody talks about, that famous run against the Jets. And he had so many really nice runs in general, man. Just a tough player. Ricky Waters, love Ricky Waters and that Super Bowl run. I remember when we drafted Ricky Waters, it was at a low point for our running backs because Frank Gore had that big fumble in the playoffs. Not Frank Gore. Roger Craig had that big fumble in the playoffs against the New York Giants, and the position was a huge question mark at that point in time because Roger Craig was kind of on his last legs. He wasn't the same player that he used to be, and I remember when we drafted Ricky Waters, and I was telling my friend, "Oh, we drafted Ricky Waters out of Notre Dame. I think he might be good." And my other friend was kind of telling me the same thing. But then other people, like the 49ers running back, sucked. And Ricky Waters didn't even play his rookie year. He was injured in training camp. And lo and behold, the first year he actually finally got to play where he suited up. He freaking had like 100 yards in his first game, and he had 1,000 yards in the season. And Ricky Waters was awesome. Frank Gore, what can I say about Frank Gore? Ricky Waters won a Super Bowl, but Frank Gore never won a Super Bowl with us. He went to a Super Bowl with us, obviously. Amazing player, played for so many years. And who's my favorite, man? I don't know. That's just tough. You know what? In terms of style and the way he was just so flamboyant and fun to watch, it almost was Ricky Waters for me. Just his style. Even though he wasn't with us that long, he went to the Eagles. when he was with us, I kind of had the most fun and the most excitement watching Ricky Waters. There was just a great way he used to play, and just the way he was so flamboyant about everything too. It just made it fun for me. I'm sure you might remember that.
I never saw Waters play. The first running back I remember seeing was probably Garrison Hurst. I saw like the tail end of Hurst. Then it kind of went into like Frank Gore, Kevin Barlow. Man, yeah. But obviously
Barlow was right towards the end of Hurst, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. So it was probably Barlow then Gore, probably. I think
Barlow was good for a minute, and then he just got sorry, and then he got into it with the Nolan, and then Nolan got rid of him, and it just went sour from there. Running backs, in general, do have a short shelf life. So when you see a guy like freaking Frank Gore, 16 years in the NFL or something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, that is just
career.
Oh my gosh.
Career, man.
Yeah, he could block like crazy, and early Frank Gore was just awesome. When that year where he just blew up, where he was the full-time starting running back his second year in the league, led the league in rushing. Oh my gosh! If Frank Gore was still that good, for some reason he was amazing that year, and then he kind of curtailed off a little bit, but he was still good. Yeah. But if he was as good as he was that year in the Harbaugh era, we easily would have won a Super Bowl, if not two. But Frank Gore's awesome. Either way. Mahoney says Garrison Hurst long 96-yard run against the Jets was my first game I ever went to as a 10-year-old at Candlestick Park. So. Yeah. Prius Game says Gore for me. I sat in the end zone when Gore dropped 200+ yards on Seattle. Okay. And yeah, back to Ricky Waters. He was the running back when we beat the Cowboys in the playoffs. So back to the whole Cowboys. When we beat the Cowboys and won the Super Bowl. And the previous 2 seasons, he was also the running back. In those games, I had high hopes for those Niners in those 2 years when we lost to the Cowboys, and just things didn't go as planned. And I was hoping, I was just hyped up for Ricky Waters, but just, the Cowboys were so tough to stop in those 2 seasons. They had the most amazing offensive line I've ever seen, ever in the NFL. I don't know if you ever had a chance to go back to watch those games, or just watch those old Cowboy teams. Their offensive line would have holes like this big for Emmitt Smith. It was just
Larry
nuts.
Allen.
Emmitt Smith had the biggest holes I've ever seen. If Barry Sanders ran through those holes, I always say this: Barry Sanders would have put up freaking 3,000 yards in one of those seasons.
Yeah, incredible, man.
Yeah, and great point about David Yang says Waters in the Super Bowl was killing it. Yeah, Waters was awesome in the Super Bowl. He was hella good. David McNew says Ricky Waters was good when he was with us, stuck it up with the Sea Chickens. Actually, though, but if you do pull up Ricky Waters' career stats, I mean, after he left the Niners, he almost pulled up 1,000 yards for almost every team he played in multiple seasons. He played for the Eagles. So he's from the Philly area, so he went to the Eagles. But it's funny, though, a lot of these players, when they leave the Niners as free agents and they go somewhere else, I'm sure they get the big contract. It's almost like they later in their careers they'll say, hey, I wish I stayed with the 49ers. My whole career was the most fun times and the best times in the locker room or on the field where as a 49er. Rob Woodson only played I think 1 year or 2 years as a 49er, and Rob Woodson told the media that his best seasons ever were with the 49ers. Yeah, I'm sure you remember.
I'm looking at Ricky Waters' stats right now. So from 95 to 2000, he had 1,000 yards every year from 95 to 2000. And that was when he was with Philly and Seattle. So, yeah, he was very productive running back. I wonder why we didn't re-sign him.
You know what? That was when that was the year that the salary cap was first started to kick in, and because free agency was just coming around, and free agency was still 2 or 3 years in the making at the time. And we that season to win the Super Bowl, we signed everybody and their mom. So it was kind of
we couldn't keep everyone.
We couldn't keep everybody, yeah. And then going into the next season, they didn't address the running back position properly, and freaking Derek LaVille was a starting running back, and he was a good, nice little complimentary running back. He put up some good receiving yards out of the backfield, but he definitely needs somebody, a more legit starting running back, more so than him. Yeah. Corey Davis says 49er minded. Did you witness the Dallas rivalry? Same question with Jay in the Bay. So I was old enough to have seen the catch. I was maybe 6 when it happened, or 5 when it happened. I don't know, but I wasn't a football fan back then. I was still a little kid. But I started watching it when obviously I saw 49ers play the Cowboys in different games, but it didn't necessarily become a rivalry. Again, the rivalry wasn't reborn until, course, Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith started getting good. So once they started getting good in the early 90s, then, of course, I definitely saw those games.
Yeah, my earliest 49er Cowboys memory is when T.O. went to the Star. That's my earliest.
Oh, yeah. Who can forget? T.O. going to that Star, man. You know what? That reminds me, man. T.O. had a really funny tweet about that. I'm gonna go pull up in a second, but I wanted to let's see.
49er Tone.
What's up, 49er Tone? He's a fellow YouTuber, a really good friend of mine. We mentioned Candlestick earlier. I know him ever since the Candlestick days. Said if we kept Waters then, we win in 1995 back-to-back. Hey, I wouldn't argue with that. Our defense was excellent in that 95 season, too. The season after we won the Super Bowl, we still had a great defense. Celts Chronicle says I was at the Frank Gore 212-yard game versus Seattle Jay Rice retirement ceremony. Now, Celts Chronicles, was that the game that Gore had like two 89-yard rushing touchdowns at Candlesticks? I remember that game. I'm not sure if that was the same game that you're talking about. Unless it was Gore had some pretty good games against Seattle in general, and especially in those early years before the LOB was a thing or before Russell Wilson was there. Gore used to just kill Seattle, during those years. They hated facing him. Got anything to add about that, or?
I don't remember that game, to be honest. I don't remember that game.
Yeah, I'm not sure which game he's referring to. My guess was the one where he had those two big runs. Yeah, but hey, we have Elijah Mitchell now, a great young running back.
Oh yeah.
He's the 49ers rookie rushing leader of all time, so he broke the record. Even though he didn't necessarily get his 1,000 yards, he could have. He only played 11 games, if I'm mistaken, right?
Yeah. It's unfortunate he couldn't, stay healthy the entire season. If he would have stayed healthy, he probably could have broke 1,400, 1,500 rushing yards in his first year. And what a steal to get him in the 6th round. He clearly should have been a first-round pick. Or is it just Shanahan's system? We don't know. We've seen plenty of running backs do well in the Shanahan, running back system going back to Denver with Kyle's father, Mike. But there's no doubt he's a great fit for this offense. I got a question for you. Do you think we'll bring back Raheem Mostert next year?
Do we bring back Raheem Mostert?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good question because I think we do. Not sure how much. I'm not sure what they'd pay him. I'm not good with the salary cap, and I'm definitely no poor man's Parag Marate in that regard. Yeah, never claimed to be, but but you're asking me if I was in charge, would I bring him back? Sure.
Yeah.
He has this gear that is just something else, man. But what sucks, obviously, your best ability is availability, and we all know about Raheem Mostert. Unfortunately, is the guy. It sucks though because the guy bounced around the league for God knows how long. He was a journeyman special teamer guy. And I don't know what it was, if he found a new trainer and worked with new people and found this new niche to become a great breakaway type running back, or he always was that guy, but teams wouldn't give him a shot. I don't know what way it was or how it went, but it just sucks because once he was finally getting some shine, boom, injury here, injury there.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how that happens because he was just a gunner on special teams, Raheem Mostert. And then Breida, he gets hurt, and I think Breida had that fumble issue. So Shanahan said, hey, let's give it to Mostert, and he took off and ran with it. It's just if we bring Mostert back, obviously we're not going to depend on him to be the starting running back. But, I mean, it's going to be a team-friendly 1 year, maybe incentive-laden deal. He's definitely not going to make what he made this year, which I don't know the exact number. It's probably 3 or 4 million. It's definitely not going to be that. Maybe he'll get that in incentives if he reaches certain goals, but I would definitely be willing to bring back Mostert, but it'll be a 1 year deal and, see what he has. Because we know he can't be a bell cow back. That's not, he can't do that. Maybe 5 to 7 carries a game, but we'll see. He got hurt the first game this year. So, we'll see.
Yeah, it's really tough to tell with Raheem Mostert. Most of us would want him back, obviously. It's hard to say no to that guy. Joey Mahoney says, what's the turnover battle going to be against Dallas? Who gets more turnovers? I wouldn't be able to answer that question. Do you have an answer?
Well, the Dallas Cowboys, they actually lead the NFL in the most turnovers. So They do a good job. Like Trayvon Diggs, their corner, has 11 interceptions. I think that's going to be a key in this game, though. Joseph is, the Niners have to be disciplined. Definitely can't have a lot of penalties. Like I love Dre Greenlaw and his aggressiveness that I saw last week, but a few of his plays, he played beyond the whistle, and you don't want to hurt the team. But I loved his aggressiveness. He came back with a vengeance. Like he led the team.
Oh yeah, you could tell he was hungry to be out there, man.
Yeah,
I love that though. I love that.
That's for sure. But if we win the turnover battle, we'll definitely win this game. So Jimmy, what Jimmy we gonna get? Is it Jimmy INT or we'll see?
Or Jimmy TD, who was
exactly.
Yeah, and hopefully, you mentioned Josh Norman earlier. Hopefully, he taught a thing or two to his teammates about that peanut punch.
What? I don't see any other player really attempt it. Yeah,
so. there was a time where Greenlaw had a really good shot to punch the ball loose this last game, and he was running up the sidelines because the other player grabbed him, and Greenlaw ran up and to hit him. And I was thinking, if Greenlaw just thought to just punch the ball loose, and the ball was right there, maybe he would have gotten out. But who knows? And there's some great. I appreciate all the feedback from the chat. It's excellent feedback, and it's helping to keep the show going, helping to keep the conversation going. So we always appreciate that. And shout out to anybody who's going to the game. I know Prius Game over here said he's going to the game. I'm sure there's others watching that are probably going to the game. And hey, man, if we see a Ciaretta out of there in Jerry's World, that'd be great. Absolutely. Prius Game says Jimmy G made the running backs good. Does Jimmy G play O-line? I mean, I didn't know Jimmy G. Maybe was that Jimmy G playing left tackle where Trent Williams normally plays, man? It's good to have Trent Williams back. I think we mentioned that earlier. Absolutely. It's gonna be a huge help. I mean, especially against Micah Parsons, assuming they line him up there. I don't know if they move Micah Parsons around. Maybe you would.
I have seen them move him around the defensive line. If I were the Cowboys, I wouldn't have Micah Parsons go up against Trent Williams. I don't think that'd be a good matchup.
Man, the videos of Trent Williams this year just tossing people around like rag dolls are just legendary. Legendary. I've seen great offensive linemen and all-pro offensive linemen, all non-49er ones. Because I always thought like the best linemen in the league never played for the Niners. We'd have okay guys on our team, but we never had like the ultimate studs. And we do have this ultimate tackle on our team now, who actually was the highest rated player in PFF for this season. So. Yep. Yeah, I think it was like a 98 score, which is unheard of in PFF. If you even get a 90 in PFF, PFF is hard from those guys. Okay, so David Manu says a Niner Empire invasion. We will be in full force at AT&T Stadium. Home field advantage is overrated. David Yang says bring back Heem on the cheap. Moster's vision and burst through is perfect for this is a perfect back for Kyle's system. I do agree, and Kyle, just like his dad, has that interchangeable plug and play running back system that I love, of course, and then we saw it with Elijah Mitchell this year, and there were times where Jeff Wilson looked good this year too. It's just that he was a little shaky because being rusty from all those injuries that he had piled up.
Yeah, and we're going to need 5 backs. You got to have at least 5 and carry one player on practice squad. So Mostert may have a shot to make I think we should at least bring him in and at least let him try out for the team, because I don't think he's going to have a lot of suitors who would be willing to sign him after the issues he's had with staying healthy. So
I don't want it to go down like this, and especially we don't really have that many picks. Well, we have an okay amount of picks, but we don't have any hype. We don't have a first rounder, but I hope Shanahan doesn't draft a running back this year. But he likes to draft running backs. He loves his running backs.
Yeah,
he values his running backs. I wouldn't mind an undrafted one. Sure, you get an undrafted guy. And 49er Tone says, who is your all-time most hated Dallas Cowboy? Mine would be, I have 3. Michael Irvin, which I like on TV nowadays, Alvin Harper, and Emmitt Smith. Oh, yeah, Alvin Harper. I remember, you see that NFL films of Alvin Harper where they were like showing the 49ers versus the Cowboys game? I think it was the game that we won in Candlestick to NFC Championship game to go to the playoffs. It was like right before the game, Alvin Harper's stretching out. And he's like, I'm the real number 80. I'm the real number 80. They got a fake number 80 over there. Cry, baby. You know what? Alvin Harper, early in his career with the Cowboys, he'd catch a lot of deep bombs and make some big plays, for Emmitt Smith, especially in some key playoff games too. But he was not that good nowhere near that good to be talking like that. No. Biggest hated Cowboys. You know what's funny? because of this huge gap of that. I hated the Cowboys so much back then. Let's let you know. This was during my high school days and a little bit after high school, and it's like now that it's been so long, we're so far removed from that rivalry. It's almost like my hate just went away for the Cowboys. But I was actually getting into it with some Cowboy fans on Twitter last night. But who would I hate? At the time, who did I hate from? I hated him when Charles Haley was on the Cowboys. I'll be honest. As much as I loved the Niners, I actually got his autograph and I have a picture with the guy. But I just hated the fact that he was on the damn Cowboys. But it was dumb of us for us to trade him to the Cowboys.
Right.
We had no business trading him to the Cowboys out of all teams. And then at the time, Cowboys were kind of weak that year. And then the next year, they were kind of semi-good. And we made them a whole lot better when we gave them away to the Cowboys. That was dumb and stupid. Man.
It's funny with the Cowboys because they haven't been relevant. Like I think they've gone to one NFC Championship game since '95. So
yeah.
I
hated Michael Irvin, but like you, I hated Michael Irvin. There's probably somebody I forget, and I was just always annoyed by Emmitt Smith. I hated Troy Aikman. I couldn't stand Troy Aikman's ass, and there was just so much about the Cow. I hated Barry Switzer. I hated Jerry Jones, and not Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson, and there were so many things about the Cowboys that I hated back then. If you asked me that question back then, I'd probably go on for an hour about all the things I hate about the Cowboys. Again, I just feel like I'm so far removed from that rivalry, but now I feel like it's coming back, a little bit, But it's great. I think it's great. They're the team I wanted to play in the playoffs, so we're playing them. So we're getting what I want, and I think a lot of Niner fans would agree with me.
Speaking of rivalries, who do you think is the Niners' biggest rivalry right now?
Biggest rivalry right now? Well, I guess you could say the Seahawks.
Yeah.
But what sucks is we need to freaking beat them. Hopefully next year we finally. This year I thought this was the year that we'd finally get rid of that stupid, streak of them beating us or whatever. And
they match up well against us, and it's Russell Wilson. Let's be real; it's number 3. I mean, he makes the car go.
We just play down to them though. Even they'll play like garbage against the rest of the league or whatever, and then here we are. We're playing down to them. When we should play above them. If we're a more stacked team, but It is what it is, man. Hopefully next year we beat their ass.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, my cousin's a Seahawks fan. He was in the chat earlier. I'm not sure if he's still here, but hopefully he hears that. Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff going on in the chat. I try to see what the best thing is. I was like 49er Tone has to say though. He says signing Dion helped the Cowboys big time. Got to move. We had to move Merton Hanks back to safety. Okay, that's when we signed Dion. You mean yeah? We moved. Yeah, I remember that. We moved Merton Hanks to safety. Definitely remember that. We keyed on Alvin Harper and helped contain Irvin. Yeah, it definitely did. That helped a whole lot. That was awesome when we did that. We had Tim McDonald at strong safety, freaking Merton Hanks at free safety, excellent cover safety. Now I wouldn't count on the Merton Hanks to tackle anybody. He'd give people piggyback rides instead. And of course, my favorite thing, along with most people's out there, about Merton Hanks was his little chicken dance or whatever. And then I mentioned I don't know if you guys saw my John Madden tribute that I did. I have a separate standalone video that I made for my John Madden tribute. And I did my little John Madden impressions on there. And then one of them was like, hey, look, it's Merton Hanks. He's doing the Big Bird dance. Merton Hanks is doing the chicken dance. Boom. Tough acting, tenacting. I know. That's a
good impression.
It's all right. It's all right. It's not like Frank Caliendo.
Well, he's the GOAT,
Frank Caliendo, he can freaking imitate anybody. Even if people he's probably never met before, you heard him one time, you could probably imitate him right then and there.
I agree with you, Joseph.
Yeah, Jimmy, come on, man, protect the ball. And I hate it when Jimmy fumbles the ball too. And I was worried about the last game because of if he was injured with that freaking injury, the thumb injury. How is he? Because he's had fumbling issues in the past. It's not like it's anything new. And I was like, okay, this guy has a hard time holding on to the ball, protecting it from time to time. And now here he is playing with an injured thumb. Is he going to be able to hold on to the ball? And lo and behold, he fumbled. And we lost we recovered the ball, but we lost hell of yards in the process, as if it was like a freaking 15-yard sack or something. Right. But hey, whenever there's any negativity about Jimmy G, we got good old Prius game to save the day. It says MVP Jimmy. So
oh
yeah, let's go. At David Goodwins hated JT. I'm not sure who's Jay, but Moose hate the Moose too. But I do like him. You know what? For the most part, you said I like Moose as an announcer on Fox.
He's good,
and I've always had certain people aren't the same way I am, but I always had a certain appreciation of announcers. Like I mentioned, I had this whole dedication for John Madden because and if you grew up as a Niner fan, almost every important, relevant 49er playoff game was freaking commentated by John Madden and Pat Summerall. They were the guys to cover those NFC games. And of course, I always just admire certain announcers when I watch them. I like Greg Papa, of course, and from time to time, Troy Aikman's pretty good. But there are times, like the last game, he was saying some dumb things, man. I forgot what plays it was, but whenever the Niners did something good, it was almost like Troy Aikman would just throw some doubt out there. Whoa, well, it looks like a penalty should have been called. Or he just throw out some stupid, irrelevant speculation that there'd be a penalty called, or he discredit. It was like Troy Aikman was just trying to discredit whatever the Niners were doing from time to time. And keep in mind, even though I hated him on the field, I actually thought Aikman was a pretty good announcer, but Joe Buck and Aikman, you kind of get sick of hearing those guys all the time. It's like, oh man, I wish Matt and Summerall were still alive. They could do those games.
Wow, totally agree, man.
You know what? Great point. David Yang said this could be a Kittle game. Their linebackers aren't that good. Kittle needs to he kind of took a game off. It wasn't he took a game off, but he had to help out Colton McKivitz. I get it. He was helping out with the left tackle situation, and hopefully this is a bounce back game for Kittle to explode. What do you think?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, as you mentioned, with Trent Williams being out, Kittle was used more as a blocker, and I think that kind of opened up opportunities for Juwan Jennings. But hopefully we can use Kittle more as a threat in the passing game because he's a mismatch nightmare when he's on the field. I don't think there's anyone that can really guard him. As long as Jimmy can give him a catchable ball, Kittle can definitely make defenders look silly. And I'm looking forward to Kittle making plays on Sunday in the passing game. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, and hey, definitely in the run game too, though, man.
Absolutely.
Kittle loves to throw out those key blocks, and he threw out a really nice. My friend Dan Castillo, that was in the chat, pointed this out to me. If you notice on that Debo touchdown run, Kittle threw a really nice block over towards where the center was in the offensive line. You can see him throwing a nice block there to help spring Debo. Joey Mahoney says, from what I heard, some Cowboy fans. The Parsons lines up on the right side, he'll be going up against Tom Compton. Yeah, so Tom Compton's got to step it up, or we may send him back to Compton. Yeah.
And Compton, he's been playing well. Obviously we know the only reason he's in there is because Mike McGlinchey was hurt, but Compton has been playing pretty well. Now, obviously, Micah Parsons is a different dude. He's probably going to win the Defensive Rookie of the Year, and hopefully we can send some help over. I think we'll know right off the bat within the first quarter whether we need to send help over for Micah Parsons. But I mean, the game plan is going to be run the ball. Can Micah Parsons stop the run? How is he going to deal with all the pre-snap motion that Shanahan does? It confuses players. Is it a run? Is it a pass? Is it play action? So I don't think the Cowboys defense has really played an offensive genius like Kyle Shanahan this year. So I think they got something coming.
Oh yeah, love the way you put it. What's up, Channel 49? My buddy from Instagram says, say it.
What's good?
It's going to be a battle of the trenches versus Dallas. I think I still feel the 49ers will squeeze it out. I always hated Jay Novacek back. Yes. Oh, my gosh. See, now the memories are coming back. Jay Novacek. Dallas. We had Brent Jones at the time, and they had Jay Novacek. And for 2 years, in those games that we lost to the Cowboys, Jay Novacek was pissing me off, man, that guy. Yeah, we had a hard time against those guys, man. Tommy Huxley says, Jay and the Bay, we better beat the Cowboys. Oh, my gosh. I try to keep a clean show, but, these guys are a bad influence on me. Case in point, Tommy Huxley, Corey Davis says, do you remember that they took Deion Sanders off L to put Harper? I'm not sure what he means.
Davis.
I think he's talking about when we played the NFC Championship game. I'm not sure exactly what he means, but I'm sure he's referring to the NFC Championship game when we played the Cowboys and we had Deion. That dance Merton Hanks did was inspired by his daughter. Okay, I did not know that. I thought he got it from Sesame Street. Who was it?
Big Bird?
Not Big Bird. Well, John Madden used to call it the Big Bird dance, but it was Bert and Ernie. There's this which one was Bert? I try to remember. Okay, Bert was the taller, skinny one of Bert and Ernie. Bert had this dance. He would do this pigeon dance, and I've seen him do it before. And from what I remember, Merton Hanks said he got it from him. I love. I keep in mind, I was just thinking there was another game. I think it was in the 1994 season or 95 season. So the year after we won the Super Bowl, I think we played the Cowboys, or 2 years after that maybe. And I was watching a clip, and somebody had fumbled, and Merton Hanks picked it up and ran into the end zone and was doing that dance. And Merton Hanks was, and then John Madden was commenting on that. And there's always some big play like that. It was funny every time Merton Hanks made a big play. John Madden was the announcer for whatever reason, so I just ran across that play again on Twitter, and it's just I love seeing those old school 49er highlights, man. They always make me laugh and just bring back old good memories. 49er tone, everybody's having a bunch of fun in the chat. Oh, we got a Cowboy fan in the house. Says King Josh says go Cowboys, boo. We got Tommy Huxley says the Cowgirls suck. He says Queen Josh. Oh, these guys are having fun. Blue True says something's buffering. I'm not sure what he means by that. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tim McDonald definitely was a hitter. He helped when we. Yeah. So in those playoff games, when we were facing the Cowboys, Tim McDonald was a strong safety. We had picked him up from the Arizona Cardinals, who were the Phoenix Cardinals back then. And Tim McDonald was a big fighter for the NFL players to have legit NFL free agency. For a period of time, there was no legit NFL free agency, and Tim McDonald fought for it with the NFL players. And one of the main reasons was he wanted to be a 49er. He's from Fresno, grew up in California guy. So he got his wish, and he got a Super Bowl with the Niners. So gotta love Tim McDonald for that. And chat's very active, of course. And let's see, we got David Yang says Ramsey had a running start full speed into Debo, and he was the one picking himself up off the ground. Oh yeah. Yeah, when you try to tackle Debo, man, you're gonna have another thing coming, man.
Ran into a brick wall.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, I don't know. Part of me is thinking again, like the same way we punish the Rams with Debo. I'm kind of thinking Debo might be that X factor against the Cowboys. I'm kind of picturing it in my head almost, where Debo just goes in there and just wrecks shop. That'd be so nice. Yeah, it's almost like when Debo is. Not like he plays like that every single game. I mean, he's having an amazing year, of course. So obviously he makes plays every single game. But there's some games where he just takes it to the next level, and when he does, it almost feels like it's cheating. Like like they have no way to stop this guy. Let's see, does Jay in the Bay always pick the 49ers on Madden? That's me too. I haven't played. Yeah, I haven't played Madden in a minute, actually. I didn't buy the latest game because I wasn't going to buy the newest Madden game, but I'll be honest, I didn't buy it because they made – if you saw the initial prototype of how they had Trey Lance looking before the updates came out, I was like – because they showed all the rookie quarterbacks. They showed Justin Fields. They showed Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, and – all of them looked like the real guy. And then when they get the Trey Lance, it just looked like some random dude off the streets.
Wow.
I was like, dude, the disrespect is real, man. Then later, way down the road by mid-season, they said, oh, hey, we got an update here. This is Trey Lance's face now. And it looked more like him, but it still wasn't up to par. But who knows? Maybe next year I'll buy it. But no disrespect to John Madden himself, though. I always praise him and give him props. R.I.P., rest in peace. Oh, what's up? We got a Cardinal fan here. Good guy, actually. Runs runs a YouTube channel. Says, hello, everyone, except for Tommy. He's just being funny right there. So before we wrap, let's see. I think you sent me a message. Oh, yeah, I got you. Yeah, I was just about to wrap things up. So cool. We read each other's minds.
Good. JR Meadows.
So before we wrap things up, we always like to talk about score predictions, and we got JR Meadows. Says Niners 30, Cowboys 19 with a bold prediction. I like it, though. I like it. Got the confidence. And before we go, let's see. We just got to pull up a few more chats. We got Mariah, 49er Faithful Lead from the 49er Faithful Lead YouTube podcast. Subscribe to her channel. Check her out. She's on there with TL. Yeah, they're a great duo. They're awesome. So definitely check them out. Let's see. So yeah, I'm missing up. There's so chat's going wild. I thought I was going to be able to read all these, but I can't. There's just so many. Let me just read one or two. And yeah, it is. Tommy Huxley says Bashar and Jay remember Zerline sucks. He's going to miss the game. Yeah, that's their kicker, right?
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully he does miss one when it counts. Who knows? Well, hopefully we're up by a whole bunch where the kicker doesn't matter. And then here we go. 49er tone. The most beautiful thing about the 49ers versus Cowboys, a rivalry spans for decades and generations. Even with this long break, it will spark again. Yeah, that's good. All those feelings will come back. I hate that star. Yeah, I wonder if somebody takes a chance to shit on that star the same way T.O. did. I wanted to read out really quick before we go. Yeah, there was a thing that I retweeted. I was going to try to share it on here, but let me just read it because I thought it was so funny, and then we'll wrap the show up. Okay, so somebody on Twitter had posted the a GIF of it was a Cowboy fan that posted it. Remember that one George Teague, the safety from the Cowboys, that hit? He ran for hell yards and then he hit T.O. out of nowhere when T.O. spiked the ball in the star. So T.O. Basically responded on this tweet with all these smiling and laughing faces, and he goes, "That might have been the only hit tackle he had the entire game." He goes, "I pancaked him on a run play a few plays prior to this play, and the hit hit he gave me on the star was weak, just like their defense was that year. I lived in their end zone." And then he had a little popcorn emoji. Side note, hardly a feud, nothing to discuss. So wow. I thought that was hilarious that T.O. fired back. And really quick, do you have a score prediction?
Absolutely. I got the Niners winning 34-27 over them Cowboys.
Okay, 34-27. Nice. I said 29-25. Bayer, Baller 18, my fellow YouTuber, great guy, fellow 49er fan, been on this channel, subscribe to his channel, check him out. Says 27-24. Richard McDonald, welcome to the show. We're about to wrap things up right now, but he says Diggs is overrated. Diggs, excellent playmaker. I get it. 11 interceptions is amazing, but I hear he does give up yards, and people are telling me that, so hopefully we find a way. Ayuk, Debo, Jennings, even Kittle from time to time, all those guys got to step up. Any last words before we wrap it up, man, about your channel? Anything you want to say?
Hey, yeah, for those that haven't subscribed to me or follow me on social media, I'm on IG, Twitter, Facebook, of course, Jay in the Bay. And, of course, you can check me out on YouTube. I talk about same things that Bashar does on 49er Minded. But you can find me on Jay in the Bay on YouTube. And I'm looking forward to the game. I think the Niners can definitely win this game. As long as we don't beat ourselves, we run the ball, and we get after that. I think if we do those three things, I think we'll definitely be able to win this game and extend our playoff run this year.
And an inspiration for Whitney Houston, Dak is whack. All right. So thank you to everybody in the chat. The chat was awesome yesterday, awesome last night. Awesome today, of course. It's we're gonna have Wayne Breezy from the Nitty Gritty Niners. Hey. I've been trying to get on this show for God knows how long. He's in Dallas. He's gonna be at the game. Great YouTuber. If you guys don't know who Wayne Breezy is from Nitty Gritty Niners, check out his channel. I'm gonna have him on tomorrow night. Thank you again, Jay in the Bay. I have the link. If you go in the description box of this video, I have all the links to Jay in the Bay's social media, his link tree, his YouTube channel, all that, his merchandise store. He's the king of saying what's good. He's a huge Niner fan, always positive, always fun, always funny, entertaining, you name it, knowledgeable as well. Let's get that W in Dallas. This is episode 2 of my Dallas Marathon. Yesterday was my 49th show. This is my 50th show. Happy to have you on. Happy to have my chatters. Happy to have my guests. Always here on 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. And remember, guys, keep repping those 49ers and stay 49er minded.
Thanks for having me on, man.
You're welcome. To get that W, baby. Let's go.
Peace.
Come on, 49er faithful. Let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yeah, yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er mind.